Yes, I. Greetings, 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 greetings. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, headphones.
Yes, greetings. Yes, we start off with Everton Blender. Lift up your heads and hold it up high. That's a command that we insist on. It's very, very important for the African race to lift up their heads and hold it up high. You know, so it's very, very, very important. Um, Ethiopia, words of His Majesty now, Ethiopia several years ago instituted a program of scholarships for students coming from other African lands, which has proved highly rewarding and fruitful. And we urge others to adopt projects of this sort. Serious consideration should be given to the establishment of an African university sponsored by all African states, where future leaders of Africa will be trained in an atmosphere of continental brotherhood. I want to hear that to the people because this was 1960. Let me tell you the exact time this was. Um, the speech was made in 1963. 1963. You know, so I want you to realize and take it how serious this proposal came about from 1963. As he said, Ethiopia several years ago instituted a program of scholarships for students coming from other African lands, which has proved highly rewarding and fruitful. And we urge others to adopt projects of this sort. Serious consideration to be given to the establishment of an African university sponsored by all African states, where future leaders of Africa will be trained in an atmosphere of continental brotherhood. In this African institution, the supranational aspects of African life would be emphasized, and study would be directed towards the ultimate goal of complete African unity. You know what I'm saying? The need to set up an African university where studies would be directed towards the ultimate goal of complete African unity. Even further, he said, Ethiopia stands prepared here and now to decide on the site of the university and to fix the financial contributions to be made to it. So now is 2024. We still do our African university specifically to train and produce African leaders. We still do have it yet. You know what I mean? From 1963, that proposal put on the table and has not yet been fulfilled. Yeah, man. We stand ready because until you have these things, you know, you'll always be behind. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. Yes. Welcome, 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 one and all. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, Dr. Mitchell. I see your email. I also see some other emails which came to me. You know, we so identify them. We soon pick up on them. We now go to, you already know? Yes. Naya Bingia chant tonight. Yes. So this one is for all our listeners, and this one also provides strength for us. Yeah, man. Naya Bing, you got chant tonight. Well, phone.
His foundations in the old mountain.
Yeah, move something and just take them because the mic pick up everything. Even when you tap the keys for the keyboard,
Yeah.
they pick it up.
Alright.
Glorious things have been spoken of thee in the city of Jah, Selah. I make mention of Rahab and Babylon.
Then you want the slave ship next, right?
Yeah,
that's a number one.
Yes, this is why I play on number one.
No, man, this is number 11.
Yes.
And it shall be said, this and that man is born in her, and the highest himself shall establish her.
You want anything else from this?
Yeah, but it's two. Number one and number 11.
Yeah, I have them already, you know.
Yes.
So I'm asking if you want anything else from this.
No, just some two different time.
Okay, alright.
Shall be there. All my springs are in thee. Who thou most high hits your peer, Kamali highly Selassie first. I say it, and yes, then I have in the go chant tonight. Yes, then I have in the go chant tonight. I listen, I see, I children all gather round. I have in the go chant tonight. I listen, I see, I children all gather round. I have in the go chant tonight. For when we light up the fire, Babylon fall down on their knees. For whether you be black or whether you be white, you better walk in truth and right. For whether you be black or whether you be white, you better walk in truth and right.
If you have any other song you want to forget, you can give me them so we can try start download them.
Yes, yes.
System kind of slow.
Chant tonight. Yes, then I have in the go chant tonight. I listen, I see, I children all gather round. I have in the go chant tonight. I listen, I see,
Dr. Mitchell.
I children all gather
On the
round.
WhatsApp, I want to get our number, but I can't call you.
Alright.
Give me a number. Take the number off the WhatsApp.
545. 545.
Yes.
No, man. Oh,
876, yes.
545.
20. 5,
Yeah.
yes.
2646.
26. 46.
Give it?
No, no.
Give it the number?
No, not yet, not yet. Look, see if we get a message from Sister Nanny. Sister Nanny.
Yeah, she gave us Nigo's number.
Nigga's number. What's the number?
862
862
63
63
73.
72. All right.
Naya Bingy, I go chant tonight. For when we beat the ancient drum,
You could have get him for me on the phone. Negos.
Because
Yeah.
But repeat the Sunday, and the tears make them fall down on them face. But repeat the Sunday, and the tears make them fall down on them face. Yes, in I think I go chant tonight. Yes, in I think I go chant tonight. I listen, I see, I children all gather round. I think I go chant tonight. I listen, I see, I children all gather
Look at the Jew.
round. I think I go chant tonight. I listen, I see, I children all gather round. I think I go chant tonight. I listen,
You get
I
it, Joe?
see, I children all gather round.
That was somebody who was trying to call in to the show.
You want to use my phone?
alright, it's the user phone, but tell the way now. You can call him out from that and we'll just bring him to the line.
Yeah, I come. Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. That's what I say by telling you straight. The Aya Bingi go chant tonight. So children all gather around whilst we chant the Aya Bingi chant. Give thanks. Give thanks. We want to congratulate the Ivory Coast. Yes, Ivory Coast for not only hosting the African Nations Cup, but also winning the African Nations Cup. You know, so we really want to congratulate them. They had a very good tournament. You had a few itches along the way, but African football is now reaching a certain level because you see on all the teams, the portion of good players, not only playing in Africa, but also playing in Europe, where they earn a lucrative financial situation. So quite a few of them is spending money in their community, in their village, whether to build up training center, whether to build up roads, whether to build up schools. Quite a number of the footballers who are earning a decent living in Europe are returning to their communities and building up their communities. So we really give thanks for that, and we congratulate the Ivory Coast, a wonderful win for the African Nations Cup. Give thanks. We're gonna talk to Brother Nigos. We have been mentioning on our program. Nigos was the brother who was charged for herbs and faced the court in Montego Bay. We're gonna call him, try to get through to him, so that he can tell us firsthand what was the outcome of the case. You know, we know that found him guilty, but we didn't know what was the charges or the fines or what have you. So, yes. Yes. Tell him yes.
Blessed Lord, Brother Miguel calling. One moment here, sir.
Yes, I think one Amigos on the line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, patch him through.
Yes. Yes. Brother Amigos, you have to keep it in it. Yes. Yes. Just make a correct some things here. Um, just taking off the casing off the phone so as the wires can get in properly. Yeah. Put it down. Yes, Brother Amigos. Yep, yes. You hearing me now? Yes, Brother Amigos. We have them on the line, you know.
Brother Eagles?
Yes.
Brother Miguel.
You're hearing me?
Yes, man, I hear you well.
All right. We're going to try hard and see what we can do. Nice to have you on the phone, Amigos.
Yes, sir.
Yes. We heard a lot about the case, that they charge you for that they charge you for ganja. Huh?
Possession and dealing.
Possession and dealing with ganja.
Yes, sir.
What was the outcome of the sentencing?
I'm actually charged 20,000.
Okay.
Charged
Yes.
20,000,
Sorry about the servants in the studio. Yes, Brother Amigos. They actually charge you how much?
20,000.
20,000. Did they break it down? 20,000 was for what?
Them charged now 9,000 for possession and 11,000 for dealing.
9,000 for possession of ganja.
Yeah.
And 11,000 for dealing in ganja.
Yeah.
Yes. Were you dealing in ganja?
Well, no, I'm not dealing in ganja.
Yes.
Ganja is my document.
Yes.
And, ganja is being a part of us.
Yes.
So.
You,
I was dealing, but it was in ganja.
yes. You had it for sacramental purposes.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, you're a man that transport ganja for many different entities. You transport ganja for Rasta Roots Fest. I think, sorry about disturbance. Rebel Salute and so on. Was this brought to some fest? Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, so,
Yes.
and I been receiving documents from 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I actually received 9 documents to transport. 8 for transport 10 pounds and 1 15 pounds as a transport of the rest of our.
You have been given documents to transport up to 15 pounds of ganja. Right. From where to where were you transporting it?
That 15 pounds was for Rebel Salute. So,
yes.
When these events come up, you would have transport from where you want to go within the festival.
Yes.
You would have pick up that bird from wherever they are and bring it to the
festival.
Yeah.
And this is permitted by law.
Yeah, by the Minister of Justice.
By the Minister of Justice. And you have been doing that for years, ain't it?
Yeah, from 2015.
From 2015. Was this brought to the attention of the magistrate?
I think so. My lawyer did.
Your lawyer brought it to the attention of the magistrate?
Yeah.
and she still find you guilty of possession of ganja.
Well, it's obvious that it's justice,
Mhm.
in concerning Rastafari and overlooking the law
Mhm.
and treating it like poor men.
I understand that she said the day when she was sentencing you something to the effect that it's not Rastafari on trial.
She said that it seems like it is the Rastafari community, the entire Rastafari community on trial. It's not that. That's what's her.
That was her comment.
Yeah.
So the entire Rastafari community feel that they're on trial, but it is not so.
Right.
Then how she expect the community to feel if a very prominent member of our community is ill-treated by the courts? Talk to me in Igos.
Yeah, I don't know how she expect one to be, because, to me, it's just injustice and the Rastafari. But that it's very clear in the law, section 72,
Mhm.
stated that
Say it slowly.
possession of ganja.
Section 7,
17.
7,
See,
section 7C2.
section
Yes,
7.
and one of you can look it up and read it. Section 7C2 of the Dangerous Drugs Act, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It stated that rule against possession of ganja, summarized at 7, 8, and 9 above, do not apply to any of the following. And the first following, and that is religious sacrament adherence to Rastafari. Possession of ganja, the sacrament,
Mm-hmm.
religious sacrament adherence to Rastafari. So, it's very clear
Mm-hmm.
in the law, and I mean, for real, right? That is there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 9, the one that 9 states that anyone from the two or two women of ganja,
Yes.
can be brought to court and try and if find guilty, can be sentenced to a fine or imprisonment or both.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't think some don't want to make it clear that the position and the summary, the state and do not apply to any of the following. So the information is here,
Yes.
and I think of Rastafari is something you have more than one follower in terms of them setting any of the following. So you have medical and church research.
Yes.
Practice where that gets approved from the instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Scientific research. Then that gets approved from the SRC.
Mm-hmm.
But we have the bar and position. There's no one and any approval of position, so that is very clear in the law. So the rest of the position. Therefore, the rest of the bar is even an event. RFP is higher than something like that. First, so we go get approved by him with those two. But otherwise, position, we don't have anyone connect by the law. That's the
Mm-hmm. And all of this was brought to the attention of the magistrate.
the lawyer said
And,
was a no case. He did file a no case submission.
and your lawyer brought these to the attention of the judge.
They said they filed a no case submission that they was no case against him, but the overruled said of a case on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I understand you're going to appeal it.
Yeah, that is the whole thing, and the whole mindset, but I'm unreally knowing that I was doing this not because of just even though I'm a herbsman and Rastafari herbsman,
Mm-hmm.
but who would I would like that commune support behind this when we do it. It is not just me personally, for myself. I think
Yes.
stand up for right. Not even nothing personal.
Yes.
Just doing that.
Yes.
Our right and the law.
Yes.
And yeah, we are stand up for right.
Yes. So you advise the lawyer to file the appeal, and then we can organize the support after.
Yeah, the lawyer did verbal.
Mr. Who?
The lawyer, Mr. Chumo Paris.
Oh,
He did
Truman
make
Paris.
a verbal.
He gave a verbal notice, but it's also safe for him to give a written document of appeal. Yes, so remind him of that. File a written document showing that he has appealed the matter. In terms of the community, certainly we would want to get together and give you as much support as possible, my brother. So in time to come, I'm going to call you and you can tell me how we can give you that support in real terms.
Yes, sir.
Not just talk, but real support. In other words, what you're doing is actually for the benefit of the community.
Natural.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Brother Nigos, go and stand up same way, stand up in the judgment, stand up with the Gideon, and know yourself, we are here to support you in your fight for justice. His Majesty, and glad to have you on the line this evening. Give thanks. You know, brother? Every time. See you strong. So that was Brus Nigos. He just had his case. You remember we spoke about it last week when we spoke to Sister Nanny. So we are actually speaking to the man himself. He tell us that he must charge 20,000, 9,000 for possession, and 11,000 for dealing. Yes. So that matter now, it ain't over yet because he's going to appeal it, and we are going to follow the appeal left, right, and center. Yes, sir. Yes. If you hear shuffling in the studios, it's because my guests are arrived. I have three guests coming. Yes. Yes, I have three guests, three royal guests. So as you see, my studio is a little small, but we'll galvanize and do our best. Nice. Both mics are working. All right. We two can share this one. And then they can share that. Huh? Yes.
Yes, live.
Okay.
Good.
So, do you want to take this chair?
Okay. All right. I can do that.
Yeah, take that chair. So we have some royal guests in the house. Brother Jalan and Naya, who is no stranger to our studios, and we're glad to have him this evening. Welcome, Brother Jalan and Naya. You want to introduce your two other guests that you brought?
All right. So, greetings, Bitter Sugar listeners. It's a pleasure once more to be here, especially at this time,
Yes.
2024, February, Black History Month. So many signifiers around that.
Yes.
We have with us today a brethren from Cyprus.
Nice. I always walk in my atlas. Always walk
I
in my
should say
atlas.
two brethren from Cyprus.
Yes.
They have actually been here before.
Yes.
Dr. Haji Michael has been coming here for decades. He is a reggae aficionado in his own right. He has written a book on Bob Marley. He is a media studies scholar who works at the University of Nicosia in Cyprus. Last year, he was the person who gave the annual Bob Marley lecture, and it was a fascinating journey into the media, particular visual and some published media related to Bob Marley, and really helped to situate Marley as an international statesman who, unlike any Jamaican at that time, had a certain media attention and a critical, philosophical, global argument put to him consistently, and had to be strident in his response, not just through his knowledge of contemporary events, but in defense of Rastafari, which at the time was still very edgy for many persons. So he was there in the forefront of the movement in a way that no one has been ever, perhaps, and since. So he really gave us a fascinating lecture that unpacked what might be a lifelong project that, was somehow synopsized in that lecture and in a book which was released shortly before the lecture itself. He traveled last year with intellectual spar. I call him Stavras. He is a poet and intellectual in his own right, who I think is on a life journey that makes Jamaica a good interface at this moment for him. They both are my guests. They've returned for the annual International Reggae Studies conference. This year it looks at sound systems. And Haji Mike, I know, is going to be making a contribution, as he always does. This is, for him, pretty much a commitment to a niche that thrives in our space, which is the sound music culture. He will tell you more about himself, but he has he has UK links that anchor him in a foundation reggae space at a very current time. Stuart Hall and all those people in the UK. So it's an honored guest we have here this evening. He's a media man himself. He has a radio program in Cyprus. And he's an artist, well published as far as vinyl, poetry, and spoken word, etc.
All right.
I don't know if that is
Yes,
also a
that-
professor
what to say
All right.
himself, yeah.
Before we go further now, for all our listeners who want to pinpoint where Cyprus is on the map, you want to tell them? Yeah.
Cyprus is very near the Middle East.
Cyprus near the Middle
It's
East.
the crossroads of civilizations between Africa, Asia, and Europe. And we're right next to where everything tends to happen in terms of conflict and war, as you can see from the map.
Yes. Which country near to?
It's near to Syria, Israel, Palestine, Lebanon.
Hotspot.
It's a hotspot. Egypt, Turkey, Greece.
That's where it's near to.
The nearest point is probably it's either Turkey or Syria.
Yes.
I'm not sure the actual distance. I think Turkey's nearer.
Yes.
And half the island is occupied by Turkey as well, due to a conflict.
Half the island is an island.
It's an island, yeah. Half is divided in two,
Yes.
and half of the island has been occupied by Turkey since 1974.
Nice.
Following a military
What's the
invasion.
population like?
It's just over 1 million in the Republic of Cyprus.
Right. Now that we identify Cyprus, so Cyprus isn't in any way affected by the war between Hamas and Israel now?
It definitely is, because in Cyprus there's 3 British bases. So when you see these planes taking off from somewhere, the American planes and the British planes. That's where they take off from. Because one of the legacies of neo-colonialism in the independence agreements, Britain maintained 3 bases in Cyprus, 100 square miles, and those bases are as British as Britain, as far as the British government is concerned. So from there, they've been bombing any war you can think of in this region, even as far as Afghanistan, and down here in Iraq, in the war in Iraq, and with the
Red Sea issues.
Red Sea issues with the Houthi.
Houthis.
Yeah. So recently the planes were taking off from there to there.
From Cyprus.
Yeah.
Come down. What is that? Cyprus an independent country?
Yeah. We got our independence from Britain in 1960, the year I was born.
So you have your own prime minister and,
We've got presidential
and the usual
parliament,
your
yeah.
own flag and all that,
Yeah.
and your own anthem and things like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's complicated.
But in reality, the planes are taking off to go bomb other people.
We have no say in it, Rasta. We have no say.
Yeah.
It's the independence agreements. As I said, those bases are British. The bases are British. There's no much. A lot of people locally don't like it. That's the agreement that the governments have agreed to. Beyond my control.
Whoa. All right. Now let's forget the location worldwide. So them say now you run a radio station.
I've got my own station. It's called Gulbebi.com. And that's based in Nicosia in Cyprus. And I also play my radio shows on Mondays, and I play simultaneously on 3 stations. One is in Jamaica, it's Rhythm One Radio, and the other one's in the USA. It's called Nice Up Radio. These are all internet radio stations. I used to work on land-based stations like what you're doing yourself on FM. And at some point, I got into internet radio. Because radio is something I teach as well at the university. And I like the freedom of the internet.
So, Brother Jadana mentioned that you were here last year for the Bob Marley lecture.
It was a big honor for me.
Yeah.
And I still, in some ways, can't believe I did the Bob Marley lecture. I wrote a book about Bob Marley and media representation. And that book was published actually more or less the day of the lecture last year. And this book took me a few years to do the research. And I looked at radio, television, and printed press throughout the world, as much as I could find. And it's a subject that interests me from the time Bob Marley died. Because when Bob Marley died, I was a student at Essex University. And I heard about his death on a sound system. Because back then, by the time the news travels from one place to another, it took longer. It stayed in my mind that I'd never seen Bob Marley on TV doing an interview on British TV. I'd seen him mime on Top of the Pops and things like this, but I'd never seen him being interviewed, unlike many other popular music artists of that time. So it was at the back of my mind for many decades, why this happened. And the only time I heard Bob Marley's voice was on interview with David Rodigan in London. So it's just something that I always wanted to do research on. And I wanted to write a book that wasn't, I never met Bob Marley. And I don't claim to be an expert on him. But I wanted to write an academic book that looked at the way the media represented him. Which I think it was a much needed thing, because a lot of people see Bob Marley and think, worldwide, everybody knows him, he's an icon, and but we don't really look at how despite his fame, I think he had a very hard time with the media, especially in the UK.
Mhm.
Mainstream media, I mean.
Mhm.
I mean, with different forms of black media at the time in the US and in London and places like that, it was a little bit different. But I think it's important to understand the fact that not one British television station interviewed him. For me, that's a serious omission. Whereas if you look at the BBC now, it's, oh, we love Bob Marley, you know, it's a very different vibe after he died.
Yes. You're back this year, and as Jalani said, you'll be looking at the sound system.
Yeah, what I'm actually presenting on is an event that happened in Kingston called Vinyl Thursdays,
Called Vinyl Trust.
Yeah.
Yes.
which was a group of youth which started out in a spot in a tavern, and it's basically a yard dance where the selectors were playing only vinyl, but they were quite young,
Mhm.
and they weren't a sound system as such. It was a streaming event, and I was very interested in this from a point of view of a hybrid event. In other words, it's happening in a yard in Kingston, but it's also happening for me online.
Mhm.
So I'm watching it in Cyprus.
Mhm.
So every Thursday night after my lecture at the university, I used to switch on my laptop and sit there for 2-3 hours and take in the vibes. You know?
Yes. Yes.
So I did a piece of research on that, which is
That's
mainly
the power of the internet, eh?
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
You
mainly
can stay in Cyprus and tune into a yard down by tavern.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like people watching us now, it's the same thing. Really.
Yes.
But you know, you see enough people used to pass through there. Luciano, Ika Mouse, a lot of the younger artists that were coming up, like Izalanis at the time. No, countless artists every week. There wasn't. I suppose it would be unfair to list the artists that played there because I wouldn't know all of them, you know. But it was a very special event for me, and it's a reflection, really, for me, of Generation Y in Jamaica. Because at the time in 2013, everybody was calling this the revival. You remember, with artists like Chronix and Protege and Kabaka and all these people that came out, Janan, at that time. It was defined as the revival.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that didn't happen, it obviously did. But I think it's got to be contextualized as a societal thing, as a reflection of Generation Y. Because those youths at the time, they were digital natives, and they could make videos, they could upload their songs and give them away for free online. They were the social media generation, so we say. So I'm very interested in this from a communication point of view. So I did this research.
Nice. Pretty soon we might see a book come out also.
I'm not sure it'll be a book. It'll be a chapter in a book, I hope. But it's a subject that interested me because I participated in it, and I usually a lot of my research is about things that I relate to or participate in. You know.
The whole idea of audience, though, is what for me is fascinating because, you know, you in the event in Jamaica, you are not appreciating his reality,
the glory of it.
Yeah, as a part of the audience. And in some instances, the streaming itself becomes an event in the sites that it occurs. So it becomes a virtual but a live production as well for those in various diasporas. It's a really interesting dimension, and I really like the idea that what he's really helping to frame is the reggae revival can't be understood without the digital Gen Z component, which really Gen Y. All right, so you have to go into those nuances, but yeah, man, and really and truly, I think there is a lot of important documentation and research. Vinyl Thursday, for example, is an event that has disappeared, But when it occurred in Tavern, it was traffic blocking.
Mm.
You know, you're talking about a regular yard, backyard, that a range of different kinds of people converged on for a few hours as though it was precious ointment, you know, various different spots in the yard that people could do their own kind of meditation while being a part of one vibration. So I'm glad to know that it is being documented in a certain kind of way. You know, in this
It does take place now?
No,
it stopped maybe 5-6 years ago.
I think it's probably one of the reasons it stopped. It was definitely affected by Corona, but there's a lot more things like that happening. I mean, old China Smith's in a yard, you know, a vinyl only session that's streamed as well. There's another event I heard about called Rubber Dub Thursdays. Dub Club is streamed as well, but Vinyl Thursdays was the first one where the stream became kind of like Exile the Brave on the microphone, and I want to big him up for it because I've spent countless hours talking to him online about it, doing interviews with him. So I wouldn't have done the research without him. He's the sort of like hype man, you know, in the session. So he'll be selecting but at the same time talking to people on the stream. So in that sense, it was a bit different from just having a camera like we've got here with a laptop. It was more looking at the screen, seeing who's online. Big up Haji Mike in Cyprus, you know. And then the people in the dance here that, what? People listening in Cyprus, what's going on, you know? So there's this kind of synergy between people here and there. And it's immersive. So we're all part of the same vibe. You know? And this is kind of like replaced in previous decades with dancehall. The cassette tape was what captured the sound clash,
the essence of the dance.
Yes. So you couldn't be there, but you had, you know, mainly through the Jamaican diaspora, I would say.
Yes.
Because people in England will carry the tapes back with them, and in Canada and in USA and stuff like that. But then this started spreading to other people as well, thinking, I want one of those too. So it was very important to dancehall in that time. And videotape did the same thing with dancehall as well at that time. You know, if you think about Sunsplash, you know, how important video was to Sunsplash in the early phase of it. We couldn't go at Sunsplash, but we could see the video of it.
Yes.
You know? But this is real. It's like people watching us now. And 10 years ago, a lot of academics would see this as, this is the offline world we're in. This is the real world. And that's the online world that they're in. But the thing is, we're all in the same world. You know? That's the theory now. You know? So I think that's the important thing, is we're all part of the same vibe. You know?
And you know, Brother Miguel, Haji Mike is, I would say, a musicologist on Jamaican reggae music. You know, so for me, it's interesting that is his career. It's not Jamaica, you know. But in a sense, Jamaica anchored him in the UK in a way that has become his life devotion. You know?
Which is always a challenge, because
hold on, you make music too.
I make music too. Yeah.
Yes,
I've been making music.
Engineer, want to find. If it's the one music, you want to tell us one?
I'm on Spotify and all them things. Haji, Haji.
Recommend something.
Haji. Mike.
Recommend a track.
There's a track. It's called Mihalagis.
Is it in English?
It is. Yeah. Okay. Mihalagis is my birth name. When I was living in England, nobody could pronounce it, you see. So I'm called Mike. So one of the first pieces of poetry I wrote was this, and then we mixed it over dub for a friend of mine in England who's a great producer called Tony Mafia. Have you got Spotify?
You know, you should. What's the name of the song?
It's only on Spotify?
It should be, yeah, I think.
You find it? You know, Spotify. From our YouTube. You can find it on YouTube.
We try.
Not on YouTube.
You found it?
No, not really. It's not good quality, that one.
But it's the
Yes.
same production.
Why don't you play this one? It's actually a song I wrote in memory of my brother Michael Thompson, who was one of the founders of the International Reggae Poster Exhibition
Okay.
with Maria Pava Estatiro
Yeah.
from Greece. And I came
You
in,
can play from this composer here.
it's called Freestyle Rhythm.
You can play it.
Oh, he's giving him
The lead chord. Look here.
This was written by a music producer in Greece called Kostas Lemurios. And it's done in memory of Michael Thompson, who was a great artist of Jamaican descent.
Yeah, I'm playing. Check the volume. Right. Yes. So it's Haji Bike.
Freestyle Rhythm.
Huh?
Freestyle Rhythm. Yeah. Memory of Michael Thompson.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. You play an instrument?
No, I didn't do the music. I um, usually work with the reggae based stuff. I do. I usually work, with the dub poetry. I work with producers.
Yes.
But my acoustic stuff, I play guitar, so I write my own songs like that.
Yes. I'm sitting here and thinking that, you know, reggae, Bob Marley, and Rastafari. Here we are in like a corner of the earth in Jamaica, and we're linking with someone who's in Cyprus,
On the other side of the world.
on the other side of the world, near to the war zone, near to Syria and Lebanon and Israel and all those places. And I'm looking at you. You look like a trad Rastafari.
Well, yeah.
You know. So the power of the whole thing draws one to, like a magnet, to Cyprus. You know what I mean? To know that we are in Cyprus, our divine heritage is being propagated, is being spread. Freestyle rhythm, freestyle rhythm. You know?
It's catchy,
Yes, yes.
Promote the liberation, get up, stand up. A version
Yes,
of it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know.
And I gather from him the community is very intangible in Cyprus,
Mm.
So you would be like a major source of reggae airplay, I would imagine. Or
Oh, yeah. I mean, in terms of radio, I was the first person to play reggae on radio in Cyprus from about 92.
Mm.
I was making slightly different music back then. It was more dancehall with some Cypriot, the Cypriot dialect and some Greek instruments like the bouzouki and stuff like baklama.
Mm.
And I used to do a weekly radio show on Thursday, and I'd play 1 hour reggae.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on other stations around the island playing reggae. So radio is my main medium, really, and also being a DJ, that's what I play. But since then, a lot of things have changed. You've got sound systems, you've got bands, it's grown a little.
In Cyprus?
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 sound systems. There's
reggae sound systems.
yeah, reggae sounds. Yeah,
Okay.
and you'll be amazed with their selections. There's bands. Most of the bands are cover bands. They don't do so much original material, and I find that a bit boring. But some of them are quite good. They do their own stuff.
Mm.
And there's reggae. There's one reggae festival. There's a lot of.
Okay.
There isn't really reggae venues as such, though.
Mm.
It's very difficult to open up. My dream would be to open up a little bar and just play reggae, but I know it won't work. So commercially,
It wouldn't be viable.
it wouldn't be viable. No. But if you play once a week or once a month somewhere, especially in the summer, it works.
Okay.
In the summer, there's a lot more going on because we like Jamaica, we rely more or less entirely on tourism for our income.
Mhm.
So during the summer months, there's a lot more work DJing wise and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I grew up in England. You got to understand it from that point of view.
Yes,
And I grew up at a time when reggae grew up.
yes,
So I was exposed to reggae from about 74.
yes. In the 70s.
Yeah. So I saw my friend's textbook and it had a picture and a strange drawing on it, and underneath it wrote Natty Dread.
Mm.
And I said to him, "What's that?" And he smiled at me. He says, "If you know, oops.
Yes.
If you know, you know." So
There was
obviously,
something for you to find out.
there's something for me to find out, and it's been a life journey finding out about it, really. But I think the first reggae band I ever heard was Black Slate
Mm-hmm.
in the park, and the bass just got me in the chest. And more or less ever since I went to university, I got into selecting reggae from about 1980. And I kind of grew up at that same time when Bob Marley was becoming a worldwide phenomenon,
Mm-hmm.
and saw a lot of bands on the campus too, mainly British reggae bands, like Misty and Roots, were a really good band. I think that was my first radio interview. It was Misty and Roots. So it's the kind of music. It's the kind of music that a lot of people got into in the 70s. But the thing is, with reggae, you don't get into it as a fashion statement. You get into reggae, and it's a lifelong choice. You don't sort of, like young people like this kind of music, and then 2 years later they grow out of it, and then they're like, reggae stays with you for life. If you see it as a cosmology, if you see Rasta as a cosmology, and I know Rasta isn't the same as reggae, but I kind of got into reggae and then I got into Rasta. And I think a lot of people took that route, because the music was a conveyor of the message.
Yes, was magnet.
Yeah. And when you see artists, you see a lot of artists live, like I did, like Gregory and Dennis Brown and Sugar Minor and Aswad and
Sugar Minor?
Third World. Yeah.
They all came to England.
Yeah, I saw Third World. Saw loads of bands. Every opportunity I got, I saw a lot of bands. Yeah. And a lot of DJs too.
Yes. They come from the England. Yes. So give thanks, Brother Jelani. Tell us how the sound system has influenced. Not just say it influenced reggae, but influenced the spreading of the black culture.
Okay, well, Brother Miguel, I am not a sound man or a sound or music man necessarily.
Not hearing.
But
yes, I hear now. Yes.
I say word sound power, and I am actually making a contribution in the conference, inspired, or should I say, motivated by the focus on sound system. I've tried to isolate my own work interest in the space, and there are two things that I'm interested in: the sound systems owned and operated by Rastafari, and the way the economy that Rastafari encourages supported the development of sound systems and what became known as Herbman dances. So I am suggesting that there has been a development in sound from our first days in street preaching and using acoustic drums, congos, etc., to really bring that attention to the meeting. Marcus Garvey would have been talking to his hat in order to attract his audience. So the whole idea of the paper is called I Want to Disturb My Neighbor. It's really looking on the idea of disturbance and the way the engagement of a hearing from the people becomes seen as disturbance. And I'm suggesting that the sound system really intends to bring the people into a hearing. And that hearing is moralizing, it's uplifting, it's like in the case where Bob Marley actually uses the line, the hearing is about the treatment of his manager. And, you draw a bad card is the real thing, you make wrong move. And he really wants to disturb the neighborhood with this conversation.
Because Coxsone, when they first carried bongo drums into Cox's studio, him run them out. Yeah, man. It was Bob Marley and it was other musicians carry the Congo drum. I said, no one a Congo drum here.
That wasn't the clean sound anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. One synthetic thing.
Yes.
Not the natural.
So they had to persevere and gradually bring in until you then did.
Well, I'm glad that this conference is happening because I think we've missed the sound system as a business model. So it is a way of public engagement and gaining audiences, but it's a highly successful business model. First, it's driven by the the capacity of the operator to convene, to accumulate the wherewithal, not just technically, but also in terms of support, unloading, offloading, taking care of, warming up the sound, all of the range of things. And then there's a whole community of relations that is affected by that. So I'm using the mode of the Trenchtown Open Yard Mortimer Planner space.
Yes.
Which is a dynamic space where there is music rehearsal, there is a storage of equipment, there's a gathering of people, there's a composing of music, and various kinds of production. To say that
it was a big thing, the sound system.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about steel horn and tree.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember they would put the steel horn. Usually put in a tree. Somehow that you get better sound.
Acoustics up there.
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
Well,
no matter what yard, them find a tree to put the steel on.
Well, Brother Miguel, you see, and for me, I'm glad that this discussion is happening. I hope it really includes the people who have made major contributions, because when you think about it, to go outside in an open space and to amplify that space in a way that you really create a zone for entertainment and also for that to carry in the way you want to disturb your neighbor is a major innovation. And the genius has been that it is the Jamaicans who designed a way of overcoming the outdoor issues with this wall of sound at a certain size, arranged in the way you're talking, what boxes turn which direction, and how you stack it, etc. And I was actually, we were just talking about Ronnie out by Bull Bay Cable Hut as a man who is involved in the design of these boxes. I remember attending an event where he was actually taken by the organizers on a workshop about how to design these boxes. So we don't even understand the innovation and technology that we have contributed, not just to our, homemade space, but to the way to approach the outdoor and to effectively manage an acoustic event.
You see, we take some of them things there for granted.
Yeah.
I remember a brother named David Matsumaya, when CBS Sony from Japan would just get into reggae, and one of their workers came here. He was interested in Sugar Minott and Freddie McGregor. So he came. He was at a scene at my house. So I took him to a dance on Maxfield Avenue. The first night, about the second night he was here, I took him to a dance. So he says, I was going into the dance. I'm going to say, I'm going to stop outside a little, So the dance going on. I don't see him. After more than an hour, sweet, but I could look for this man. When I go, when he saw the size boxes,
it's not a joke thing.
if it's a boy, in the stand when I watch the box, when he notice when the bass play, the box move, So I said to him, I come and dance. He said, boy, I'm there to dance. Because the box out of the gate, and I noticed when the bass play, the box move. And when out there, so the peanut man did it, so this man did it, so the dance
is complete.
Yes.
The whole space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just in the dance, but on the road and dance.
Yeah.
So in fact, the whole night out there now.
Yeah.
The whole night.
Well, Brother Miguel, we don't begin to account for what sound system and dance hall contributes. People think of it in one way, that it's a waste of time in some people, but there are people whose next day's finance survival is dependent on these
the dance,
events happening, you know, and a range of people, youth who was collecting buckles, as you know, just
peanut man,
cane man, yeah, pan chicken man out there,
yes,
the man, P-card man, a range of people are dependent on the outing.
That's why when police really dance and mash it up, it causes so much problem.
Yeah,
because you have actually mash up the source of income of not only people who keep the dance, but there's a people
who are on it's a whole community.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you imagine if you have your chicken on?
Yeah.
And among the things that you prepare.
Yes.
And then dance lockdown and you don't start to sell.
Burst and shot fire.
Yeah, that becomes a real issue.
Yes.
And we've not approached one of the things that I discovered in unpacking this paper, and the paper focuses on Jalov as a major Rastafari contribution. I'm framing it 10 years after His Majesty's visit, which is 1976, there are a number of Rastafari luminaries. Jalov is one of them, but the Wailers also put out their sophomore, what would be called their first albums. And in this period of time, there is a certain strength to what Rastafari is outputting. I'm looking at how it is. There is a consistent mission that the movement, through various platforms like these, follow through on. You know, whether it is that you're going to conscientize with a more harmonious music. I mean, changing the tone of the society is a big work, I think, that many of these dances did. But what also fascinated me in this view is the spaces like the Student Union at the University of the West Indies was a major home base for Jalov.
Yeah, man.
That's no longer available. You know, it's just
why it's just not available.
When I say it's no longer available, not in that way that it was a reliable venue for dances. The union now has very strict regulations. There were a number of incidents where the place was, you know, variously destroyed by different, I think it's mostly student and community that got out of hand. And I know since then, you know, the university has been a little more hesitant in making it available for everything that is requested. But when you speak to people like Ilawe, you know, the union was almost like a steady home base. Yeah. And that is a big crisis that the street remains.
Marley, Jacob Miller,
yeah.
Third World, all them perform at the student union now.
Yeah. It's now the street. The street, the sound systems thrive now on the ability to set up in front of your house on the roadside. So in a sense, there is no real accommodation for a culture that many people is their hobby, you know, to be able to own a sound.
Yes.
To be able to produce a quality sound, to have good equipment, to entertain their community. I used to think, you know, that it was presumptuous for people to put on music and then disturb the community. But in some instances, the community expects to be entertained in a certain way. And if the selector is sensitive, he's in touch with the community's taste and is disturbing the neighborhood in a tasteful way. You know, you know the hour that you start on a Sunday, you know the hour you lock off, and you govern your own participation in a way that your neighbor's not going to call the police because it is problematic. And you know certain days you're not going to play certain kind of song. And so there's a range of call and response in how I think some of these sound systems in communities work. Some people really think of it as community service. You're going to nice up the place deady, you know, and there are all these ways of what I'm describing of breaking the silence or the public order.
What I like when I lay down on my bed before I drop asleep. And I'm hearing the music.
A nice bass
Yes.
in the distance.
And nice songs.
Yeah.
And what I very like was to know that men have to get up and change the record. Let me get the service. You know what I mean?
But you know, Brother Miguel,
So much so that up in my area, them used to put my name on the poster. For the dance in the neighborhood. Although them know now coming up, but them put it on the dance because them
the
checks
police.
the
The police is there with God. Yeah, it's your dance.
Yes.
But you know,
So enough time. Me have to go in a pajama shirt.
to help.
You know, get them argument and things like that.
Yeah.
Make peace real.
You know,
But I don't want to tell you again.
Yeah.
When I was going to university, like to study law, and the law faculty at that time was in Barbados. And the day when I was leaving, Gladson Anderson, who we call Gladdy, came to me and gave me an amplifier, tube amp, you know. He said, T-man, I have much to give, you know. This is an amplifier that him build, you know. Amplify the tube amps when the green go up and the red go up and the gold go up. So much so, anytime anything I'm to the amp, we send
bring it back to him.
to Jamaica for fix. Nobody in the Barbados. The first thing them ask me is, what kind of amp this? I tell them, say, I got the amp. Them couldn't fix it. So we have to bring it back to Jamaica each time. So no, he had a sound system. He had a sound system, the Crown sound. You know what I mean? I used to help him put the boxes in punch up and all that. So, you know, he was an intricate part of the sound system. And that's why you think of one of the great ways of sending me off
What's the help?
was
you
to
with the sound?
give me an amplifier. Yes,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. You know, but that you say no.
Well, you know, the idea though of noise and what could be considered disturbing the public order or peace, and just to hear your own sense
You
of
know who I love that? Gordon Robinson,
the judge,
the lawyer.
the law, yeah.
Because God was living in a community. When Bob Marley them play, they used to disturb the neighbor.
See,
And the neighbor would complain to God, not to the wheelers, Bob Marley.
see.
They would complain to God, and God never finds some excuse to tell them, say, it's all right, man. It's good music, but you have to listen closely.
I have to translate it to
Yes.
Well, the point though about the consent of the community, and the idea about being disturbed, you know, like yourself, I can sleep through things that many people might consider disturbing. I don't mind going to my bed to loud music. In fact, I feel like you, I don't have to get up and do anything. I can enjoy everything I want like that. But there are people who really consider the nuisance and the intrusion of it. And I think that this is where the sound systems have to be sensitive and skillful. The more sensitivity about the neighborhood, you know, conventions about start and stop time, so people know it ever done by 9 o'clock, or and this is the skill, or playing for the community in a way that even if it's disturbing, you must confess that the music good,
Yes.
you know, kind of thing.
Yes.
And I think that is the sweet spot of the culture that we have of sound systems, that community sound systems develop with a sense of community service. They want to actually make the community feel good. And I think that the best ones are those that manage to do that in the best way. So it becomes a kind of tribalism.
Yes.
You know, so you follow the sound and you defend the sound and you not call police to lock down the sound.
Yes.
range of things like that.
So it's a very interesting idea. But when you explore this a little bit with Jamaican sounds in England, Jamaicans in England, there's a song about this by Tip Irie called "The Complain Neighbour." It's a really hilarious song. And basically the neighbours, every time we put something down, the neighbours call the police. They don't like reggae. So and that was also featured in the film Babylon as well.
Okay.
So there was a lot of racism.
Like living in Babylon and the reality.
Yeah, there was a lot of racism in England to people playing their music. There was a lot of, and it was quite institutionalized.
Make we hear some music, listeners. Number one. Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer. Not hearing anything. Oh, yeah, yes. I'm going to first say. Yes. All right. Yes. So we glorify the sound system because it was one of the earlier medium for us to get the music out. Because mainstream radio wouldn't play certain music at all.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the business model I'm saying that is overlooked, because in the absence of having a radio station to publish your records,
yes,
you publish it yourself.
Yes, I don't think that they hear you. It's coming true.
Yeah, man. I'm saying that
yes,
you're right, because the stations and the mainstream were not giving listenership to what was being produced in many instances. And in order to go around that, you published it yourself through the sound system.
It's almost like the social media now.
Yeah.
The judge is firm when he's saying media can't come.
In fact, Brother Miguel, that's exactly it, because Haji Mike helps me in the analysis, in reminding us that Roy made that transfer. He's the first person to take what was a irretrievable verbal art.
Yes.
Put it on vinyl. So you would have to go to the dance here, Roy.
Yes.
After a while, Roy was putting on vinyl the vibes.
Yes.
Wake the town and tell the people, etc.
Yes.
And that was just the introduction of what it is. It's not music, but it became an art form.
It was the beginning.
It was the beginning. So that's where the media, of the sound system becomes technologically savvy now.
Yes.
Vinyl and tape and cassette and all of that.
Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true.
And interesting. The same way we're talking about Haji Mike. There are many Haji Mikes. There is this huge international one called King Shiloh, who I think is from the Netherlands.
Yeah, Holland.
He does what Haji Mike is saying, where there are 7,000 people online. Yeah. He's hailing up Brother Miguel in Kingston. He's hailing up Haji Mike in Cyprus. He's hailing up Ras Ibai in Maypen. But and all of it is informed from what started.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you use it now? Yes.
This is the Complain Neighbour. One of my favourite MCs. No, it's the next one.
After everything.
They want to play after this?
May I step up, Brother Miguel? It's okay, my step up for a minute.
I can step up for a recommending.
I can step up for a minute. I'm stepping out for a minute.
All right.
What I'm saying is he just recommended a song. So after this one, we're going to play the song that he recommended. That's all I say.
We can talk a little bit about this if you want.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
About Saxon. Saxon's the very big sound in England.
Yeah, man. Just give me the signal. Yeah, man. No problem.
It's plugged in. It plugs in for the music.
Yeah. It's whenever. So when it's ready.
Yeah.
When it's ready, I'm press play.
You want plug it out now?
No, man, not plug it out.
Floating back for your start.
Apparently, it's not affecting his soundbox. It's technically a break, you know. You want to maybe wash face,
No, I'm
drink
okay.
some water. You good?
Yeah, fine.
Susan, we're gonna drink some water.
Play some tune system. Let me just check it. How much?
What, like test it?
No, man, through the laptop. Just play. That's it.
Give me 1 minute, yeah?
Man, then miss up the line there, man. Miss up the 16, the good base to it, and then miss up the line. So when you run it through 10 you actually seconds of pages. So that's the
So the station is island-wide. It's all over Jamaica Time.
The natural, it just has this finish and discuss it before the play.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it.
Right. Yeah, that was Concrete Jungle, just to keep the vibes going. Good. So you have one of your music lineup now?
No, not my music. It's Tipari's music. It's that song I told you about, the Complain Neighbour. And Tipper was part of a big sound system in England called Saxon. It's the best sound system out of the UK. And Saxon really redefined the whole sound system culture in England because it became like the equivalent of Motown.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a lot of singers, MCs. Maxi Priest started out on Saxon, Tipari, Papa Levi, Smiley Culture, the late great Smiley Culture. And it's a great sound system. There was many sounds in England, all over the UK. You know,
What's the name of it?
Saxon sound.
Saxon Sound.
Saxon sound.
So you're gonna play a song from it now?
Yeah, we played
Alright.
a song by Tipper, which is called "The Complain Neighbour." It's a different kind of context of what Jelani was talking about,
Yeah.
because in England, a lot of English people didn't have the same tolerance or cultural sensitivity, shall we say.
Mhm. Yeah. I play it now.
It's good, isn't it? Genius. Really, it depends what kind of music you play. I agree with you. If I'm falling asleep and just playing nice bass line, all right, but if they're playing heavy metal, I'm going to go and turn that music off. That's something I don't like. I'm going to complain. If you like something, you like something. Still going. It's still recording and recording and everything. Still active. Well,
That sound like it's related to the-
it's quite an old song. It's about, children. Half a lifetime. This is it. Probably about 85, something like 86. He was signed for a major. He was on army. He had a major deal, and then he did Hello Darby. That one was number one. The big tune. That was actually a version by Matumbi. Yeah. Well, really, the big way back then, you can understand that. They thought Tipple was a one-hit, like one tune that we and then he would go back to what he was doing. But ever since then, he's been quite successful. But he's done some big things. I mean, he's got a Grammy. He's got a Grammy with Black Eyed Hey Mama. He's featured on Hey Mama. I interviewed him on my radio show. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You want to talk a little about it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I interviewed Tipper on my radio show a few years ago, and I said to him, one of my favourite tunes you ever did is I can relate to it a lot. Lived in London, playing again. It was quite happy. I remember the song. It was about 30 years old. In London, I mean, if you lived in certain areas, like, where there was a big black community, big Jamaican, reggae community, a lot of people got into reggae from other communities as well. It was a lot more tolerant. But you always had a certain mindset of people who were very racist and couldn't tolerate it. They didn't accept it. So they turned that off. It's annoying me. I call it police. Such a humorous song. He's a great MC, and he's still active. He's a lovely guy. For Aaron, yeah, he got a Grammy actually. He was on a song with Black Eyed Peas. He was featured on it. He's one of the most prominent UK record MCs.
So when did you really go back to Cyprus?
I'm going back via London. Via the cold London.
Yes.
I'm staying there for 8 days.
Nice. Well, I don't see you again.
I hope so, yeah. I hope so. Everything's good.
From Cyprus. Cyprus always talk about fruit.
We have a lot of fruit.
Yes.
Only citrus.
Yeah. Yes. Grapes and the fruit and so on.
And very good.
The tourists.
Yeah. More tourists.
Yeah.
We got tourism. I must say that. I have to say that. I know people in Cyprus.
Yeah, don't deny. Yeah, we don't agree. Well, welcome forward, man. Welcome forward. You have a doctorate.
Yeah.
In what?
Cultural studies.
In cultural studies.
Yeah, I studied at Birmingham.
Okay. So you had lectured in university?
I'm still lecturing. Yeah. I'm lecturing
in the capital of Cyprus. Wow. So you lecture at university, illustration? Yes.
Yeah, I've been balancing these things.
Yes.
I was when I retired on that.
All right. So you lecture on what is the culture
electronic communication is how media represents subjects like internet radio, which is
The Hamas war is a classic example, no?
yeah,
And how the media covers it.
definitely, yeah. I mean, it's
I understand.
how the agenda is being set.
Yes. Mhm.
It's really, there's a lot of stories that come through anyway.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, and just repeats itself.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very sad situation.
You know,
How they're going to carry on bombing the refugees at this time. That doesn't be too good.
no, because South Africa has raised the issue again.
Yeah, it's good for them. I'm proud of South Africa doing.
Yes, before the ICJ. South Africa saying that your guidelines and your thing are saying don't commit genocide. They're about to commit genocide in Rafah. Please do something. As a South Africa, you know. And most people don't want them to start bombing Rafah because it's not even tense. So things take a bomb and take a bullet.
It's very, it's sad that we just keep watching.
Yes, before my birth,
It's,
I
I wonder what it would take for this war to stop.
yes, in this day and age, with so much social media around, you know what I mean? You're seeing it live. You heard,
It's a situation where at some point somebody has to compromise. And the compromise really is a two-state solution.
everybody's saying that, but at the rate I'm going,
It's very difficult
one
to do
state won't
because
exist.
yeah,
You know, everything will move down. Um, I look at the broader picture. The broader picture is that this must affect our relationship with the Jews. When I see what's going on in Gaza. Yes. You know what I mean? For example, our relationship with the Bible must affect our relationship with the Bible. Because they use the Bible to justify the killing of the Palestinians. Our relationship with Jesus, if Christ has done it, is them. How can we identify with murderers? Because Jesus was a Jew, the Jews were doing it. But I know some people try to make a distinction between Zionism and Jew. You know what that, you know what I mean? Because Zion is awful. But when you can just isolate it like that and excuse it like that, the Jewish state, what I go for, because a lot of reggae songs talk about going back to Israel, or daughter from Israel. A lot of reggae songs mention Israel. Like, so I'm hoping that in the future, songs will be made to realize how Israel now, you know, is murdering people. How can we align ourselves with murderers? You know, things like that. Anyway, I said, Jalani, come back. If you have anything more you want to tell Jalani, you know.
You know,
Mhm.
I used to think that leadership in terms of health of state was really an investment in experience.
Mm.
And as I now grew older,
Mm.
I realized that many more people are younger than myself
Mhm.
who don't experience of this stuff. And, it really is a cry for people to be more invested in raising their voices against injustice because it's what is not still
Yes.
that is our silence that is going to
cause evil to prevail.
Yeah. So I think in the way that we see South Africa consistently seeking to represent the voice of the Senate. You know,
They have raised it back to
again,
the, yes, and said, look, the first thing we tell you, see before our eyes, they
and
never
you're
do
not
that.
acting decisively, you know.
Yes,
Um, so South Africa is a light right now, a
yes.
beacon in many ways.
Because what they went through under apartheid,
They understand.
yes.
They fully understand.
Somebody tell me what an interview that Peter Tosh did. When he was actually blaming Israel for the apartheid in South Africa. Peter Tosh, yes.
He's a touch deep, you know.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
yeah.
He was saying that he realized that the apartheid policies of South Africa against black people was propagated by Israel. I really like look it up and
But you know, at the end of the day, brother Miguel, I think some of us are naive enough to not understand that the machinery of war drives white supremacy.
yes,
You
yes,
know, the manufacturing, the output, the sales,
yes,
the whole industry
yes,
propels their industry, their own economies.
yes,
So without saying to us that this is the way America is going to be great again,
hmm,
you know, and NATO will, all of these countries have increased their
armament,
budgets
yes,
in relation to the production of war armaments,
yes,
you know, and I'm always struck because they don't need any major convincing,
hmm,
you know. You need major convincing to provide health and food and you know, and trillions of dollars have gone down the drain in these two wars so far.
because take the Sudan war.
Yeah,
Over 12 million people
Yeah.
have been displaced.
yeah,
Almost a million people have left Sudan and gone over to Chad. And you just don't seem to have no will. You know, I don't see the international community exerting no pressure
But you know, it's it's
to try to end that
if
war.
we black people don't understand that the racialized global
And Russia is the one that is arming one of the faction in the Sudan war. So for them hands dipped in blood, the seriously too.
Yeah.
Russia is arming one of the section and getting the gold of Sudan, because Sudan produces a lot of gold, you know. So whereas it's the Americans over in Israel who giving them the arms to go drop on the people and the Palestinians, in Sudan they're getting armaments from all about, you know. Yeah, man. Wow. Boy, Brother Jelani, you finding it there,
Yeah.
the interview with Peter
Yeah, I found it, I think
concerning the apartheid policy?
um
Yes.
I found, yeah, I think I found it.
Have it there?
Let me just verify.
Huh?
Let me just verify. Is it?
Yes. They're now trying to find the interview with Peter Tosh, where he's more or less saying that the apartheid policy in South Africa is really made, you know. That countries. All right. We find it. We find it. Yes, yes, Brother Jelani. So we give thanks that you were able to bring along Haji Michael, you know, to our studios. And
yeah, man, we go far back, you know. I
Yeah.
don't know if he mentioned to you, but we actually met over 20 years ago
Finland.
in Finland.
Finland.
Mm.
Finland.
I was giving a paper on Nyabingi fire, and the whole idea of fire as a
Cleansing, as
yeah,
a cleansing
yeah.
method, yes.
So he comes up to me after the paper, and, I think I can relate. And from there, I was maintain the relationship because he's been consistent in working on these themes, and it's really good when you go to you're in the North Pole working on it, but in the room is someone who
Understands fully.
not just understands fully, relishes the paper, and you've made a connection. Clearly, that was a big part of the engagement there to have met him, and
that was the best thing at the conference.
that was the best thing. So that's how it goes, that the space that we're in is really to share as best and as clearly as we can the depth of what our culture has contributed in various intellectual ways, and that they deserve to contend in these spaces as important theories. And I think that's what we're attempting to do in our sound system focus for the Reggae Studies conference this year. Sound system.
What date is the conference?
The conference started officially this afternoon with the opening at the Neville Hall Lecture Theatre, and it continues tomorrow.
This afternoon, the 14th.
The 14th. Yeah.
And you finish on Friday?
It finishes on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Saturday afternoon with a sound clash in the Faculty of Humanity courtyard. There is a Guinness-sponsored event with various young selectors who would have, from tomorrow, been selected for a final show-off. Ilawi is also, he's our invited master selector from Jalov, is also a part of that, and there are a couple others. But there's a sound clash evening on Saturday night as a climax, open to the public. And as you know, all of these events are open to the public. People can come.
We're Faculty of
It's at the Faculty of
Humanities.
Humanities and
Tell people where that is now.
yeah, Faculty of Humanities and Education. We are in the Neville Hall Lecture Theatre, or what people might know as N1. That is the one which is close to, if you know, the Ring Road and where Mary C. Cole Hall starts. It's like almost across from there, at the edge of the Faculty of Humanities. But anywhere you come on campus and say you want the reggae conference, people will direct you there. It runs all day tomorrow, all day Friday, and most of the day on Saturday, climaxing with that sound event in the courtyard itself. UWI, not UTech now, UWI.
UWI. All right. Give thanks, Brother Jalan, that you could pass through. Give thanks that you could bring a Jamaica.
Thanks.
And we certainly hope to see you.
I hope so.
You take care. Nice.
And Brother Miguel, he does the simulcasting thing. So perhaps in the future, your bitter sugar
it can broadcast over there.
Anytime.
With that. Because I think that he's a good example of the importance of content.
Let's give him one M card.
Yeah.
So with the mess, you not telling.
There we go. But his focus on Vinyl Thursday makes you understand the significance of any content coming out of Jamaica. And I have a student from Greece supervising as a master's student. He came to Jamaica and his intellectual fervor was really stimulated by what we're doing here. So I'm saying that our audiences are far and wide. Africa is also a space that our pedagogy is very much in demand. And the production of content is therefore critical at this point. But my film is a classic. If we have beef, we need our own film that we celebrate in the way that we think it should be produced, So content right now, I think is our gift to the world.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think well said, well said.
Yes.
I don't know if Ajay, you have anything for us to say.
No, I think what Jelani's just said really, sums up. You've got to keep making. You've got to keep speaking on radio, and you've got to keep putting things, out there for the public and giving people the choice, to have and to listen to something that is
Yes, and
more informative and uplifting.
yes,
and questioning things.
We want, before you can question anything, you have to hear it.
Yeah.
To see. And sorry, it was a joy today. Sorry, for me to see the Vibes Cartel case online.
Okay.
So we could actually see the arguments that were being made to the Privy Council.
Mm-hmm.
It's both the prosecution and the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And live, we're seeing it live today, and it's going to continue tomorrow. You know what I mean? Now, our Court of Appeal here don't bring over them things live. The highest court in our land is Court of Appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be such,
Participatory.
It's great
Yeah.
if people see justice like that, and can work out and understand justice. You know what I mean? Because at the highest court, Privy Council, it's being shown live.
Yeah.
So we could see today and know that
But,
it's good in cartel favor.
I don't know if you remember there was a show called Paper Chase on TV, which was about legal students.
Yes.
That show inspired many people to want to become lawyers.
Yes.
And, what you're saying is really provide us with dynamic examples of the professional work.
Yes.
Which is what that would do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is another kind of training.
Most definitely. Nice. So,
one perfect love.
Thanks a lot.
Highly.
Blessings.
Give
thanks. Give thanks.
Blessings.
Nice one.
Blessings. Enjoying.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoy this day.
Thank you.
Not much friend is.
Thank you.
Yeah? All right, wait now.
So what I found was Peter Tosh ignoring Israel and chose to perform in Palestine. So this is just a video where basically he's taking the Palestinian side over the Israelis. So this was like from his
interview.
I don't think so. I have to watch it to see. But his manager is in this and giving an account of Peter. So like how the song playing, you can watch it and hear it. I think it's on YouTube. We have to leave further. Mm-hmm. They just put it there.
Go start.
From the the start of the entire video. Do you want to play
Yeah,
or?
because the time video.
All right, all right. So, when the song ends, then you can let it go. It's a different one, but it talk about Peter Tosh and his
Palestine.
yeah, his views on Israel and Palestine. And this was the card, or was another one? You just pull one or another. I don't know. If yeah.
They're gonna come in after this, or it's gonna speak first.
I left the keys somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna speak first.
Yeah, man. Blessings, brother Miguel.
Well,
I give thanks again, you know.
Yeah, man. Anytime, anytime. Um. Well, the best thing to do is to just introduce it. The best thing to do would have Pops introduce.
Yes, I'm going to introduce you. It's how long?
7 minutes. You have anybody you want to call? You want to stretch your legs or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, we find one of Peter Tosh video showing Peter Tosh siding with Palestine. You want to listen to it? It's about 7 minutes long. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Right. You could have find a sugar miner song. Sugar miner song. And no, any good sugar miner. Yeah. Yes. So there you have it. There you have it. That's Peter Tosh, the militant brother man, you know. And I'm glad we play that because, as you can hear the person narrating it, is showing you how much Peter would not be going to um, Israel at this time. But his son, Andrew Tosh, found an excuse to go to Israel. And we know how Ziggy feel about being married to Israelis. So I want you to understand what's happening in the world. Tosh proved loyal. Tosh didn't want to go and perform in South Africa. He go through all sort of trouble to go and perform in Swaziland, but not in South Africa. So those who want to see him drove and come over to Swaziland, you know. And he definitely was in support of the Palestinian people. Go on. Yeah, man, go to, yes. Lincoln Boomer Minot. Mm-hmm. Yanko, you got to do your segment, you know?
I can do that.
Yes.
I'm going to show. I'm going to play a video.
You going to play a video?
Yeah, I'm going to play a video. This is some interesting content.
How long it will take?
Not long. Just 11 minutes.
So, and then you went out.
Well, I did just have this. I could speak.
Yeah, man. But you got to do your segment. Right. Yeah, man. DC, don't touch Macaulay. Yeah, man. So at this stage of the program now, we're gonna introduce when we have a segment, a psychology segment,
Yes.
with my son um, Nyanko. So we're gonna um, take him now when he explains psychology, make us say how we can use psychology to solve some of our roughest problems. Nyanko, you ready? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm on already.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
All right, firstly. All right, so good night, everyone that's listening. Hope everybody have a smile on their faces. And if you need some inspiration for a smile, then please remember we are on YouTube live right now. So you can see Brother Lorne as well as yours truly, Milanos Lorne, also known as Nyanko, in the Best FM studio live and direct. All right. Um, so on YouTube it is Bitter Sugar, Best FM, 100, Miguel Lorne. Type in those phrases, you'll be able to see us as we provide the radio show. I want to go into something a little bit different this evening, February the 14th, 2024. I'm going to play a video regarding a topic that is very profound. This is something. This is content which comes from someone who has done the research related to habits that hold people back and how to overcome them. So she's, done the speech and done the research with over 1,000 different clients as well. It's very profound, very
And
eye-opening.
just before you play it, we have Dr. Mitchell on the line. We're going to
Oh.
stick her and then get it ready. Yes. Greetings, Dr. Mitchell. Yes, we have heard the line. Dr. Mitchell, it comes on to tissue culture and the propagation of it. Greetings, Dr. Mitchell. Wow. Um, you want to?
Just
Yes.
working through the small little raindrops.
Yes. I know she's on the line. You connect with my brother.
Yeah, man, she's still on the line, but it's not going to the system.
I think Lloyd did something last week, some crisscrossing or other, in order to make it work. So I don't know if you can use some imagination. You can call back another line. All right. You go ahead, Nyanko. Go ahead.
So whilst we await our next guest over the phone, let me play this a very, very, very informative educational video for our there we go. Yeah, just all right.
He's not in here with the system.
Hmm. Definitely go somewhere with the
Come on. Can I use my phone and put it in?
Do the same thing, just order from your phone and hold it up to the mic.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering if this kind of the line, wondering why.
All right. So when you finish here, if you call
You
her.
call and just hold it up to the mic.
get some.
Someone did. Yeah.
So one one very, very, very strong concept that we could grab from this video here is that basically when a human doesn't want to do something, it's pretty similar to when we feel pain. That same part of the brain that's associated with pain is also associated with us not wanting to do something. And even if it's artificial pain, so to speak, it's the same part of the brain. I thought that was very, very, very interesting, you know. So even just switching the dialogue internally can go a long way. Can go a long way. Now let's go into just some stages of emotional development in children, right? So there are about 5 stages of emotional development in children. All right. Now, the first stage is called infancy, from birth to 2 years old. So, this is where basic emotions develop primarily, and they include emotions like joy, anger, sadness, and fear, even if it's in the initial stage, right? Attachment also develops, and this forms strong emotional bonds with caregivers, primarily parents or guardians. So even from birth to 2 years old, the development of the child allows them to feel that level of comfort towards those who are closest to them. So it's important to provide the most positive and most nurturing environment, especially from birth up to 2 years old. Very important. The second stage of a child's emotional development is called the early childhood stage. This is from 2 years old going up to 6 years old. And this is where self expression happens or develops. So it begins, well, I should say, the child begins to express emotions verbally and non verbally. Empathy is also developed, where the child starts to understand and share others' emotions. Social play also happens where child engages in play activities and learning social interactions and even cooperation. So between 2 years old and 6 years old, we could start to see the development of self-expression coming from our babies. All right. And also you will see levels of empathy also being shown and expressed both verbally and non-verbally as well. The third stage of emotional development is titled middle childhood. This is from 6 years old going up to 12 years old. This is where emotional regulation occurs and the child gains better control over emotions and develops coping strategies. Additionally, peer relationships or skills to navigate peer relationships with those of the same gender, age group, same school class, etc. team, the child begins to form more complex relationships outside the family and learning to navigate these friendships. All right. Still, 2 more levels or stages of emotional development occurs. So the next stage of emotional development is called adolescence. This is when the child who's 12 years old through to 18 years old experiences these 3 significant emotional development steps. So this is where identity formation occurs. This is where experiences include intense emotions, and this is related to self discovery and identity. So, between 12 years of age and 18 years of age, children develop a sense of identity, who they are, what motivates them, the type of sports they would want to go into, subjects of interest, etc. Right? Also, between the ages of 12 and 18, the child also develops a sense of independence. This is where they seek autonomy and independence and balancing emotions in the process of, gaining or seeking that autonomy and independence. So they have to learn to structure their lives, and this typically happens during ages 12 and 18, the adolescent stage, which is stage 4. The final point on this is, or final stage, final level of development within the adolescent stage is where children develop like peer influences. This is where the child emphasizes peer relationships, how they get along with their, similar, people of the same age group, same team, same culture, different things like that, different aspects like that. This is where their emotional well-being takes its most optimal shape, so to speak. So they're very formative, even up to 18 years old, which is very remarkable, right? The final stage of emotional development is called adulthood. This is where it starts from 18 years of age and beyond. So this is where emotional resilience is established, and the children or the individual develops resilience in coping with life's challenges. This is where intimacy also matures as well, and the individual establishes deeper emotional connections in romantic relationships. And this is also where parenthood skills and attributes and traits also get established, developed, and eventually expressed. This is where the individual navigates the emotional aspect of them also raising children through these different stages of emotional development and beyond. These stages are just general guidelines, and individual development can vary, of course. Emotional development is a dynamic process influenced by various factors, of course, including genetics, environment, and personal experiences. So, just to recap, the 5 stages of emotional development in children include infancy. This is from birth to 2 years old, where basic emotions and forms of attachment are established. Second stage is called early childhood, from 2 years old going up to 6 years old, where self expression and social play and empathy get established. Then the third stage is called middle childhood, from 6 years old going up to 12 years old, where emotional regulation and peer relationships get developed. The fourth stage is called adolescence. This is from 12 years old to 18 years old. And this is where identity formations get established, who they are, self discovery, independence and autonomy, as well as peer influence, how they impact others and how others impact them, takes center stage of development. And the last stage is called adulthood, from 18 years and beyond, where emotional resilience takes its most mature form, of course, as well as intimacy, levels of intimacy and understanding of intimacy get established as well. And of course, then all of that gets added up and combined and eventually leads to parenthood, where they themselves, as individuals of society, then consider multiplying and developing young of their own. All right. One, if any of this information makes sense to you, then of course, you may want to call in to ask questions about these things. We are happy to talk you through it. Remember, we're all here on this earth to learn, to grow, to love one another, and to multiply as well. So, whenever you are feeling any kind of self doubt or anything, please feel free to call in, and we'll be happy to share some positive energy onto you. And with a show like Bitter Sugar being this
Numbers to
influential
call.
in the society, we are happy to spearhead this movement. Remember, the numbers to call are 619-1508. Remember, the area code 876, and the number is 619-1508, as well as 876-279-8473. All right, so if you have any comments, questions, queries, if you'd like to add your points, please feel free. We are all here to learn and to share this positive energy. So thank you. Thank you for your time.
Nice. Thank you, Nyanko. Well presented. Thanks a lot, my brother. Good, good, good. Because the mind, psychology is so important. And if we can get on top of that, we will solve a lot of our problems. A lot. Well, no, I want to congratulate St. Mary High School. They won an eighth title in a row. Let them win the Eastern Champs. You know, you have the Eastern Champs, the Central Champs, the Western Champs, corporate era meet. You have so much different championships now, not just the one champs that you have in March. Yeah, so the Eastern Champs, which is mainly for the Eastern School, took place, I think, last weekend, 2 days, Friday and Saturday. And St. Mary won. They amassed 684.5 points. Second was Titfield with 541 points. Third was Port Antonio with 303 points. Fourth was Morant Bay High with 283 points. And fifth was Oberlin High School with 270 points. So there it is, St. Mary run off with it. And it's good that you have all of these events, like I say, Eastern Champs, Central Champs, Western Champs, Corporate Era Champs. You have so much running events. Just what they do overburden the athletes. But congratulations to St. Mary High for winning the Eastern Champs and so on. Good. I want to mention now, yes, you can get her underline. Yes, we're still trying to get Dr. Mitchell. Now, very importantly, you were plug in that thing. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso have broken away from the ECOWAS bloc. The 12 have broken away from the ECOWAS bloc. Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. All right. Yep, look at you, no? Yeah, we'll hold it. Yes. All right. Dr. Michel?
Yes.
So,
Good evening.
yes, we had some little difficulties, but we use a wizard, and we're gonna do something now.
Okay.
So glad to have you. Glad that you stay set up and stay up and wait for us. I'm very, very happy.
Yes.
Yes. You have something coming up.
Yes.
Yes. You want to tell us about it?
Okay. So my mother was here. She lived in Jamaica for 10 years. But she didn't come from England. She came from Ghana, where all three of us were born, via the United States, where she got her PhD in science education. And she spent her 10 years in Jamaica writing the first science books in Jamaica. That was in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who remember those times, but I remember helping her collate those pieces of paper. I remember the big machine.
What was her name?
June Mitchell Moore.
June Mitchell Moore. I'm certain there are some people who remember.
Right. So if people remember books like Exploring Science, Integrated Science, Investigating Science, those are her books. Let's Pass Science, those are all the books she wrote. But they started from the 10 years she was here. She worked as an education officer at Canewood with the Ministry of Education. A simple job. And she worked with a team. She went around. I found some people that remember her. Mm-hmm. I can tell that they influenced them greatly in writing and in life. Mm-hmm. So we are having a memorial for it. In fact, she ended up writing almost 140 books.
140 books.
And not just science, but also English.
Yes.
Step-by-step to reading with phonics. Step-by-step reading, language arts, right? And there's another one, language arts book, yeah. It's about 3 sets.
So you have a duty to make sure these books are available.
Right. The first book she wrote came out in 1967. That's when my sister was only 1 year old. Mm-hmm. And she wrote it when we were like 3-year-olds under her foot. While she was walking to teach science in Ghana, pregnant with me, and school children holding her book going up there. Mm-hmm. You understand me?
Yes.
And those books, everywhere you see CXC, so all over the English Caribbean, Guyana, Tropical Biological Drawing was in Ghana. Some of her books are in Uganda, Kenya. Another set of books are in New Zealand. The Let's Pass was turned into Chinese. She was in China teaching teachers how to teach science.
So what? She has passed now?
Yes. She died last year, September. Mm-hmm. And the funeral itself in November in England. Mm-hmm. But just like her husband, Professor Hassel, but she married again. Right? After the 10 years in Jamaica, my parents split. My mother went to England and she met and married Professor Hassel. That's where she did her writing now to turn the books, the little paper books that they were making the last 10 years in Jamaica. She realized she wasn't going to get to turn them into books, and she stayed in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. So she got publishers in England to publish them and get them sent back out.
To Jamaica?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're still in the bookshop, 2019 was the last set of books. That's 52 years of writing science and language books for Jamaica. Mm-hmm. It's a long history.
Yes.
So I have 109 of her books, and they're on display at the UE Science Library. And then we're going to have the memorial at the UE Chapel on Wednesday next week, lunchtime. And then we're going to see how we can, really get people to understand what happened with her, you see. Her science books are different than most science books. Mm-hmm. Her science books don't tell you about science. Her science books tell you how to do science, how to investigate, mm-hmm. How to find out, and so on. So mm-hmm. it's a book that will never go old. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now they're doing STEM, they finally catch up to what she was doing from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And she was helping writing the syllabus, Mm-hmm. through integrated science syllabus. I did that at high school for my CXC when I was at St. Jude's. My children used the books in their school, and my children pictures are in the books. You understand me? 52 years of writing.
Yes. Powerful indeed. So
I was thinking about it, Miguel.
we have you to carry on.
Most white people, let me call them that, Europeans, come to the Caribbean, come to the tropics, and take what they can, and they go back home. They take statues, gold, money, diamonds, pearls, information about plants, and they go home to get their countries rich. My parents did the opposite. They came to the Caribbean to give. They give. Even when my mother is sitting in England, she's writing for Jamaica. She has nothing else to do. That is where her mind was. For 52 years.
Wow.
You understand me?
Yes.
And she still managed to come out and see my children grow, support us, help us. She helped me with my PhD. When I was writing up and didn't have anybody else, she come and spend 2 weeks with me and sort it out. You understand me? Stand by our family.
Yes.
And she stands by, she just keep gathering people around her. And her idea, when you see her working with teachers, she doesn't see black, she doesn't see white, she doesn't see Chinese. She see teachers. You understand me?
Yes.
She was precious, man. Precious.
Well, I'm glad to hear, and I'm glad to provide this avenue that you can tell Jamaica about her.
Yes.
And we encourage people now when they see her books in the bookshops, because you said they're still in the bookshops up to now.
Right. And there are a few people that still know her that I want to get in touch with, to say, yes, they knew this lady. Because she touched, one person said it, she touched ordinary science teachers all over Jamaica. Ordinary science teachers.
Very good indeed. Very good.
Yeah.
You were to start some projects with the 4-H movement?
Yes.
Yes,
we're working with the 4-H. We're linking what we're doing with the farmers. Right, because the farmers have a lot of intelligence that the people are not giving them credit for. So we're working with the farmers. The farmers have been very good to us. So they are, to Mr. Query and the others up in the Rio Pedro.
Yes.
Especially after big up Newmount Industry School.
Yes.
They have opened up their hearts to us. We have a school farm up there. We planted yam pea seeds. We planted yam plantlets. We now have 19 yam varieties in tissue culture. So all the renter and the St. Vincent and the moonshine and the road leaf and the yellow yam and all of them. Chinese yam. And if there's somebody think they have that I don't have, I want that one as well. We have cocoa yam, we have dasheen, ginger, turmeric. What I want to see is that we have so much food that we have to start processing it. We have to start going value added. We want everybody to have food. And get everybody to understand you don't need a big farm to have food. We've had yam growing in buckets here. Yam growing in pan, drum pan.
Yes.
With the yam going up the
vine.
Tree.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have different ones. The most interesting part about the yam is it has female and male vines. And you have to have them both growing together if you want to get food.
Yes. Yeah, man. This is a real thing. All these fancy talk about food security.
Right.
But you're doing it actually in a real sense.
Yes.
On the ground.
I'm going to keep sending them out until the whole of where Jamaica has food.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is food security.
that's food security.
Yeah,
Feed
man.
yourself first.
Yes. That and to
Grow
the
what you eat and eat what you grow.
and then when you have excess, you export.
Right,
Mhm.
right. No, you have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You have to take care of yourself first.
Yes.
You know,
I'm
and
glad to hear that.
the export is really for those that are doing the farming on a big scale. But the small, you can, like everybody have a banana,
Mhm.
right? Banana tree. Why? Because now and again you get banana.
Yes.
You have a mango tree, you have an ackee tree. You can have yam too.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Well, Dr. Mitchell, we are here to encourage and continue working with the 4-H movement. That is a real grounded movement,
Yes.
and encourage our young men and women to go into farming.
Make it exciting to them.
Yes, make it
worthwhile. Yes.
make it lovable.
Exactly. Exactly. You should see the young kids coming around and asking questions. When I go to these things, they love to do. They like to put the turmeric in the mortar and crush it and make turmeric powder. We have to get them to understand it doesn't stop when you reap.
Yes.
You go on and make things. You can make yam spread and biscuit and all kinds of things.
Wow. Nice. Thanks a lot, Dr. Mitchell. Thanks for staying up and keep us up to date. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Good.
bye.
Good. Yeah.
Take care, Dr. Mitchell.
Yes, I need to get through, Jordan.
Leave the trees and let them live. I think I can break, yeah? Or 15 minutes.
Huh?
I think I like 15 minutes, yeah?
Huh?
I think I 15 minutes or something.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Unplug something when you say unplug.
Hey, see if we can find this on the internet. This song, City of Love by Blame Minor. We'll find it to go and play number 6 now. No.
ice. All of the love, food of the love with the business come down from ice. All of the love, food of the love with the business come down from ice. All of the love, food of the love with the business come down from ice. All of the love, food of the love with the business come down from ice. Some of us are one foot and the law, the commandments when you judge it. Moses and Mount Zion, and them are all a 2 foot and the law. People miserable, constantly fuss and fight. Them up all a 3 foot and the law. The storm with calm, immorality. Use it at the highway of the follow. All of the law, 2 foot and the law. With the blessings come down from higher. Foot and the law, the commandments when you judge it. Moses and Mount Zion.
Huh? Number 3, find this next. I'm going to talk a little instead of number 3.
The number 6 you have to find.
You find it?
Yes.
All right, can you play it next here?
Next, after this,
Yeah.
you're not gonna talk?
No, you can't play it. Huh? Yeah, man. Yes. So as I was saying now, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso have broken away from ECOWAS. ECOWAS is a shortening for the economic bloc of the East African countries. No, the West African countries. They include Nigeria, Senegal, quite a number, Ghana and so on, quite a number of countries that form the ECOWAS bloc. Well, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, these are 3 countries run by the military at the moment. And they have broken away from the ECOWAS bloc and said them form their own union. Now, the interesting thing is that they are now in the process, them announced recently that they're going to break away from using the French francs. These are 3 countries that were formerly under the French rule. And since they carry out the coup there, 3 different countries carry out the coup, they have been getting bigger money, bigger share of their natural wealth. These are 3 countries that are very wealthy with minerals. But over the years, they weren't getting their real worth. So now they not only break away from ECOWAS, but they want to form their own union using a different money. The 3 of them have the same money, but it won't be the French francs anymore. That used to be their main monetary medium of exchange. They haven't formed it yet as to what they're going to call a new money. But within those 3 countries, you'll be able to use your money. And they are breaking away from the French francs. So they will be loyal, because if you use French francs, that means you have to get French money. You use your money, you don't have to get French money. And they want to disassociate themselves from the French. So I just thought I'd mention that. In other words, these are changing times in Africa. You know, they already dropped the language, the French language, and their main language is their own African language. This is true liberation. This is true independence. You can't say independence and your main language. It will take a time, so there are people who still speak French. But at least you're moving towards not making French your primary language. They plan to make an African language their main language in their country. And then importantly now, the money. By breaking away from France, because France owe these countries, It's not the other way around. France over the years have been robbing these countries. These countries have gold, they have uranium, they have plutonium, and they've been selling it to France for little or nothing. Now let them eyes open when I'm getting 400% increase on some of these items. You don't expect them to close their eyes again. Now that some of them eyes open and they realize that they can get better deals, you don't expect them to go back to France at all. So this is what is happening. They are looking new markets, So they're looking at prosperity. I had noticed during the African Nations Cup, the football, and I noticed these countries, Niger, because the way they make it look like these countries were now suffering, these countries are now starving. These countries played very good football during the Africa Cup of Nations. Mali in particular, Mali should have beaten Ivory Coast, who won the competition. Mali was outplaying Ivory Coast. So I look at these things to get an idea of how the people are reacting. And they played some very good football. So, open to encourage them, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and hoping that we have a type of leader who will one day wake up and send these leaders of these other African countries, send them a congratulatory message. You know what I mean? Encourage them in their drive for peace and in their drive for love.
This no? How long I still on for this?
No matter. Yes, 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 yes. That was Blame Minot, Sugar Minot's song. Um, and as I play Blame Minot, just to tell you that the Sugar Minot estate matter is coming up tomorrow before the courts. Um, as you know, Sugar Minot passed. He left quite a bit of music, quite a legacy. He had about 12 children. Um, so the children, different mothers, the children can't agree. So you have the Administrator General presently is responsible for the estate, Sugar Minot Estate. The Administrator General will want to get rid of it, will want to give it up. But with the children so divided is a problem. You don't want to get to one set and that one set ostracize the other set. And one mix up, I tell you. So the estate not settled yet. Anyway, it come before the judge tomorrow. We don't know how it will rule, but we stop and see. But these are the problems. Sugar Minot didn't make a will. No. And he left minor children. The minor children have no grown up. But the problem with the estate is that money come in, but they don't know how to share that money. And the children will want the money, but there's a problem. So tomorrow, it's going to come before the court. It could have come on TV, but not there. Don't reach that stage yet. So next week, I'll tell you the result, the outcome of the Sugar Minot estate. You notice I don't emphasize too much about this reggae month business. No, I'm not into that. Traditionally, February is Black History Month throughout the world. There's some people in England, Black History Month is celebrated in October. I don't know why, but that's when they celebrate Black History Month. But worldwide, they celebrate Black History Month because of Carter G. Woods. He had declared a Black History Week, which later on became a Black History Month. They wanted to emphasize Negro history. So, wanted to bear in mind, they could have easily made any of the other 11 months, reggae month. But them choose Black History and water down the Black History. Black History is by far, much more vibrant, much more necessary, because it's a glorification of the Black achievements. And the Black achievement, reggae is just a part of the Black achievements, brothers and sisters. Just a part of it. It's the enrichment of it is much greater. And we don't want you all know to lose strength. But remember now, February is Black History Month. Black are black, more black, let's say black. You know? Yep. Yeah, d'accord. One name again? No, that's fine. One name again. Hold on. Yeah, not talk a little. Let's quiet it the most of it. Yes, that is Standpipe. Some call themselves Standpipe. The name of the album is Life Journey. In that's Sister Minnie's son, Standpipe. Sister Minnie, a great black woman. Yeah, man. So this one named Give Thanks for Life, written by Standpipe. Creation. Number two. Number two. Yes, yeah.
Number two, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man, Sandpipe, give thanks for life. Nice. Make we go now a little more come on to life. Um, the genocidal act, genocide act. You know what is ironical about the whole thing? Israel, we say commit genocide right now. Israel was one of the main reasons why the genocidal act was brought out on the United Nations. Israel was one because what the Israelis went through, the genocide that they went through on the Germans, the rest of the world didn't want it to happen again. So they formed the Genocidal Act at the United Nations in 1948. Israel was one of the main reasons why they set up that act to protect the Jews. So now to see Israel commit genocide is really a disgrace. Really a disgrace. Let me tell you what the act was set up for in 1940. And I tell you, Israel and America are signatories to the Genocide Act. Yes, they were signed to it. So now, where say it take place? You know what I'm saying? Article 2 of the Genocide Act. A convention on the prevention and the punishment of the crime of genocide. That's a law, you know. Convention on the Prevention and the Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, 1948. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such. A. Killing members of the group. B. Causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group. C. Deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. D. Imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. E. Forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. All these 5 acts being committed by Israel at this time. Killing members of the group, that's the Palestinian, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, like I said I'm doing. C. Deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring it about its physical destruction in whole or in part. D. Imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. The killing of the babies to save some babies that was in incubators. They had to transport them over into Egypt. Some of them still died, but at least some of them were saved. And E, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. The amount of women and children in killer, over 10,000. Wow. And then Article 3 now says, as a genocidal convention, passed, Israel and America signed to it, 1948, after the Second World War. After the Jews them go through, them tried to protect them. Now them turn around and kill half other people. The following acts shall be punishable. The following acts shall be punishable. A. Genocide. B. Conspiracy to commit genocide. E. Direct and public incitement to commit genocide. D. Attempt to commit genocide. And E. Complicity in genocide. All these acts are committed by Israel right now. Following shall be and it shall be punishable. Genocide, conspiracy to commit genocide, direct or public incitement to commit genocide, attempt to commit genocide, complicity in genocide. Article 4 now says persons committing genocide or any of the other acts enumerated in Article 3 shall be punished, whether they are constitutionally responsible rulers, public officials, or private individuals. So once you commit any of these acts, genocide, conspiracy to genocide, direct and public incitement to commit genocide, attempt to commit genocide, complicity in genocide, once you commit any of those acts, it's punishable under Article 5 of the law. Just some of it I'm reading for you all to make it clear to you that what you see before your eyes now is genocide in all its form against the Palestinian people. Yeah, man. Very, very important. And guess what? Them have Ethiopian soldiers a fight on behalf of Israel. Them conscript them in the army, them draft them up in the army. Ethiopian soldiers go up on the battlefield for Gaza now. Yeah, man. So imagine, a couple of years ago, when Ethiopians gave their blood at the hospital, they dash it away. Dash it away. People don't want it and prefer die more than take an Ethiopian blood. But yet now, when I use the Ethiopians to help more than the people of Gaza, the Ethiopians themselves now supposed to wake up and realize that, and would have prefer leave Israel and go back to Ethiopia more than stay and carry out genocide. Wow, wow. But like I said, all this must make you all think. Think now. Do you consider to support the Jewish race? Do you continue to read the Bible? Do you? All this is coming out now, you know. Because if you support all those things and you support the genocide, we are seeing this before our very eyes. The world can't be the same again after this tonight. Can't be the same. So it's about time we know, as Black people, original people, think. Think, brothers and sisters. Think. Yeah, anything like that?
Warning. Warning. Let me hear the chord.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Find it.
What?
Sizzler.
Which one?
One a white card.
Right, right.
Yeah. Is that name?
No, I've got.
No white guy.
Yeah, no white God. Yeah?
No white guy.
Yeah, you'll play that next to me here.
Black guy. Fast down. I want to play next.
Yeah, man.
Right after this, right?
Yeah. Can talk over it. Yeah. Yeah, man. Sizzler make it quite plain. We have no white God. No white God. Come on, black people. You won't praise no white God. You won't praise no God which is outside your race as black people, African people, African people. So we must make it clear. We don't want no God outside of our race. They must be black like we, walk like we, talk like we. So let us be strong and forceful right now. No white God, no white God. Don't hang up no white God in the church. Don't praise no white God, beloved. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, because you're a sister. Let me tell you again. Like him said, would the white God save me from white man oppression? Is white man oppressor right now? Then we got praise a white God for save we from the white man oppression. Think, people, think. Think. Number 5 funny. Chronics our song. Chronics our song. Black. Black is beautiful. Never end with that. When you go play these things, you know, and never end with the Chronics song.
Don't tell me anything wrong. You the one that saved me from white man open. I am no white man. It's just trouble of mess. I am the white God.
Find it?
So you not bless. When I try this life, always this with the God. With one strong pocket in one
Huh?
Close to the credit.
Yes, yes. When this done, you'll come to me, I'll talk with you, you know?
When that song you're finished,
Yeah, talk. And then that one. Yeah.
It's just love with our best. I am the white God of bless. So in our bless. That's why we want what's right for you, right? So with us.
Yeah, man. Very necessary. Let me read just two more articles from the Convention on the Crime of Genocide. It says here, persons charged with genocide or any of the other acts enumerated in Article 3, that means when we tell you about genocide, conspiracy genocide, complicity in genocide, and anything we mention in that shall be tried by a competent tribunal of the state in the territory of which the act was committed, or by such international panel, international tribunal, as may have jurisdiction with respect to those contracting parties which shall have accepted its jurisdiction. So if you have signed to it, you have accepted its jurisdiction, it can try you. You can be tried either in the country where you're from, or the country where you commit genocide, or before an international tribunal. So it's not if and but. Netanyahu can be tried. Um, Genocide and the other acts enumerated in Article 3 shall not be considered as political crimes for the purpose of extradition. You hear that? These acts of genocide will not be considered as, some people tell about political crime. No. So it won't be considered as political crimes, so as extradition come in. So, brothers and sisters, what is happening now is genocide, murder. And South Africa has raised it again. You remember South Africa bring the case and the Israelis come up with the foolishness and try to block it? Well, a plane load of some Israelis left Israel and go to The Hague to petition the Israelis now that they must arrest Hamas. Them kill 28,000 people, including over 10,000 women and children. And they have the audacity to go to the International Court, because the International Court of Justice is based in The Hague. Them I have plane load of Israelis fly go there, petition the court. They have the audacity after them make it clear that them reject the decision of the court. Now them are go there and petition the court also. So South Africa has again petitioned the court and says the plan that they have for Rafah in Gaza, if they were to carry out that plan, so much more murders would take place. And everybody I tell them, say, no, you can't raid Rafah. And they insist that them not finish. Wow. The world stand by and watch, especially Biden and America, especially Biden. the blood upon FEMA also. Yes, I. We have to stay strong. We have to stay strong. Because you notice, when the war started, everybody talk about it. But now you find less and less people. It's a deliberate Israeli policy against Western press to suppress it and for them to penalize the press. You notice the Gleaner is a Jewish paper, you know. Some Jew only Gleaner, you know. So don't the Gleaner not publish much thing about the war in Gaza. You have to notice that, you know. And the Observer not publish much about the war in Gaza, you know. No, because they don't want to affect the motel. But we have to stand strong, beloved. Stand strong. The war in Gaza is genocide, murder of the Palestinian people. Yeah, man. Bert excited about today, you know?
Yeah.
Man. Say, it would chop a bit of toast. Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You can't Burton to get everything. Our building. Of the first building, I'm going to input that. Don't see it outside the 4 2-bedroom, eh?
Yeah.
See, don't think as much land as you think, you know. Because Bert is going to go on today on the first one and build.
I think I know about the building.
Yeah.
And then the building.
Yeah, you never plan to build the rest. So afterwards, go and buy up the land and build others. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I like the simplicity in the design and the architecture.
Yes. Yeah, man.
And basically the same. How more do I get the idea from like the gradient of the land and different things like that? Survey probably. See the space because I think that space over up can maybe the tree structure
Yes.
and the parking. So once the foundation you go, we're gonna put like the cesspools and the drainage and then something like I was reading something, I think they said that we'll have to make sure the drainage.
Important things. So Miguel is very start. He start the structure of the road. We are people coming here and you are by one. So deposit of 10 million. You take the money and you deal. You understand? To make sure they sign paper and you deliver on time. You know what I mean?
I think we should be able to deliver on time here because with the different people we know him, brethren, Tony.
Yeah.
And a couple other construction and road damage at cooperation there. Don't give up. Him as well. So we just said we should be able to at the very least, the one
We have a goodwill name. We have a goodwill, you know what I mean? Because it's here to utilize it and be the first one. And if we can get 30 million each for them, over 100 million, so we can pay for them. Africa profit. And without that now, we can build the other one.
Yeah, we can buy the rest of the property. I don't think we want to do anything with it or have anything in mind that we so we can even capture some more.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Because yes, you know, you always have to Mama, you're strong, you know. Mothers go through so much things, make we stand up as man, you know. So you must always remember your mama. Don't backtrack to her. Don't tell her bad word. Don't frown upon her and all of that. If she quarrel and miserable, walk her out. Walk go to the road or something and thing. And when things as you cool off, you come in. If when you come in, she start up again, you walk her out again. Or you make sure come in late when she gone to sleep and so on. But don't abuse her. As a man abuse them, mother tell bad word and them things there. Wow, your days will be short. Your days will be short. Yeah, man. And we're going to finish it, but we have to play Chronics now. Black is beautiful. $9.52.
I wonder why you play so soon.
Huh?
I wonder why you play so soon.
Yes, I don't realize it.
Peter Tashaba.
Huh?
Peter Tashaba, Mama Africa song. As well.
They will go all the way up until 1930.
Until when?
They're going to follow until 10 and
No, we finish with Peter Touch, Mama Africa.
Mama Africa?
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah. No, Mama Africa, Peter Touch.
Peter Touch?
Yeah.
Just play right after the Chronics?
Yeah. No, me just talk a little, just thank the people and I came on the program here. And they play that.
At the next start, there is just have some theme, like a particular.
Okay, so some comments that come in.
No, it's just me right this.
And you write that.
Me right this. Couple other ones on record so far. Other people messaging and yeah, let me pick. You know. Yeah. Well, I'm right. Anything I promote engagement. So, next idea is to have like a particular theme for a particular time of the day, a holiday, a mood, a particular current affair, something specific. Maybe that's gonna be like a more memorable experience.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So as we wrap up the program now, just before we play our next song, Mama Africa, we want to thank, Brother Jelani who came into the studio along with Hi 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 IG Michael. Yeah, man. All the way from Cyprus. You can imagine? All the way. Make sure look at the map and search for Cyprus there. Nearer over to Syria and then be there. Turkey and then place there. It's an island in the middle of there. So find it so interested in reggae, Rasta. Yeah, man. So we thank you for coming in, explain to us. We really give thanks. Those that we call on the phone, um, Dr. Mitchell, and
Nikos.
we had also called Negos to explain his case to us. So prepare to support Negos, do more than talk, because Negos is representing us at the moment. So we want to thank all those who helped to make the program great. Like I always say, we can't do it successfully unless we get good support of the people. People call us, tell us what's happening and so on. So if you have like a time, you can go up to the university Friday, Saturday, tomorrow, Thursday, coming up, sound system that we'll be discussing. Also want to thank Nyanko for making his presentation and securing that spot within the program that we talk about psychology, the mind. Very, very important. Very, very important. So, brothers and sisters, we also explained to you about genocide. So let us keep it going. Mama Africa. Imagine, let me just talk a little. Imagine you come and see your father never go to Israel because him say that apartheid country. Him never go to Israel. Him have him good for money. Him never go. And you now come, Andrew Tosh, and you go there and talk about music is for unite people. Or you just defy your father so. Bob never go to Israel. And Ziggy, you come now not only love a peace, you virtually live in Israel. Oh, what is happening, man? We're a principle. When you say you're not children of Rastafari, and you stand as Rastafari, and now you yourself support a genocide of the Israelites against the Palestinian people. Wow, wow, wow.
There's so much beauty in you. There's so much life in you. There's so many kingdoms. Yeah. To me, it's not just science. Yeah. Oh, I need to know, yeah. Mama, Africa. Long time no see you, mama.
Okay.
Searching to find you. I've been crying, praying, hoping that I'll never find you. Long time I see you, Mama. You're my mother, you're my father, you're my mother, you're my father.
Keep my cash
Baby, yeah. I stopped sitting down to your appointment. You said you weren't around much anymore. Yeah. I stopped dropping by without an appointment. Cause I heard after coming through your door. Sometimes late at night you still call me. Before you close your eyes to sleep. I made a vow that I would drop by sometimes. But that's a promise I can't keep. Cause I love you too much to start lying.